actually one half of the Letterpress company, Brown Parcel Press. I've been a letterpress printer for about 4 years, and this past January I moved the shop up from Athens, Georgia to Brooklyn, New York. I love what I do. I love what I do. One, I really love having inky hands. Inky hands. So these are inky hands, and I actually, oddly enough, was waiting tables for a while, and I was always like, I think I scrubbed my hands raw every time before I went into work because, you know, who wants to be given a plate with hands that look like these? What I'm doing right now is I'm working on the registration for the last run on a wedding invitation. And you know, there's as many ways to register as there are opinions in the world. Based on the last run that we did, I sort of know, like, in the general vicinity of which way it needs to go, and then once I pull a proof, I measure the distance that it needs to move from that point, and then you put it back on and reproof it. And you proof until you get what's called a BAT, a bon à tirer, which means like good to pull. And that means that that's your sort of standard that you're going to print off of. Every other print should look like that one BAT print. What it is that Letterpress does that's so different from offset printing, from most things that you find today, is that one, it's a lot more personal, and two, I think it's just a higher quality of printing. What happens in Letterpress is that it's actually a lot of pressure being exerted on the paper, which causes an indentation. So when you run your hands across the paper, you can actually feel that there's a little bit of an impression there. I think that little physical reminder is enough to say, you know, that this took a little bit of extra time, and that I know that there was a human behind this. I really love the human aspect of printing. This thing's really heavy. What you're looking at actually right now is something called a boxcar base. It's a metal base that allows you to use what's called a photopolymer plastic plate. And this is really revolutionary in terms of letterpress technology. I don't like it as much as metal and wood. A lot of the older generation would probably agree with me, but unless you have a lot of money or a lot of space, it's really hard to have an only lead type shop. In some ways, I feel like, you know, if I don't do it, or if a few people don't do it, you know, who is? Like, it's very much a dying trade. Granted, there have been in the past 15 years or so, there's been a little spike in terms of the number of people interested in it and trying to learn how to do it, which is great. You know, the more printers, the better. But originally it started out as like a very democratic medium, you know. It was a really fast way to get a lot of multiples out there and distribute words or images to the masses. And so, you know, I really like its origins, and I'm thrilled about, you know, where it's going now. I'm just really happy to be a part of it. So this is where we mix up our inks before we put them on the press. There's two different kinds of inks that we normally use, rubber base and oil base. So you skim off the top, and you're going to want to take a little bit of this ink, and you're just going to put it out like this. And then what I normally do is I just take it out and I work it a little bit, just so I can make sure that there's no like dry spots of ink that are going to stick on the press, anything like that. And I'm just going to distribute it evenly right across the top in little dots. So now that I've done that, I'm going to lower my foam rollers back onto the track so that they're hitting this cylinder roller, and then inking the form with the ink that we've just added. You can print things digitally and offset that are so much cheaper in terms of the production cost. So I definitely understand, you know, why that progression happened. But I think that, you know, if for any special occasion, for anything that's, you know, something that you want to last, you know, why wouldn't you do something that's a little bit more human, that has a little bit more creativity behind it? For this project, it's a wedding invitation, and we knew that we were modeling it after some old school boxing posters. Normally you print from light to dark, so I printed the silver layer first, then the red, and then the black. This is our silver layer. And so once I did the design, I had to decide what color would be what, and then in Illustrator I separated out the layers. This is red. So the red that's printed on top of the silver is right here, and notice that it's actually a little bit lighter than the red right here. It's the same color red, it's just when you layer it on top of a different ink, it changes in tonality. So this is our last run. This is the black run, and it's our key image. It locks in most of the information. So this is our last run, and this is what it ended up looking like. I love what I do because even if only, 150 people or 250 people are seeing it, it's something that I've created start to finish, and I really, when I said that I love words, I really do love words, and I don't think that words can look any better than when they're letterpress printed.